Hello, everybody, and welcome to Herd Report. I'm your host, Scott Beck, and today, guys, we got a very special episode. Today, I am in Grand Island, Nebraska at Husker Harvest Days. Man, this place is awesome. They have everything here for livestock and agriculture equipment that you could dream of. My guest today is Tracy McGee of Blue Chip Herefords. And guys, I'm excited about this one. I love talking about Herefords. They're the bulls we used here on our place for generations. Back when we ran commercial Angus cows, we would always cross them with Hereford bulls to get that beautiful black-white face. Tracy raises some awesome Hereford bulls right there in Oxford, Nebraska. Guys, I can't wait to start talking with Tracy about his herd and his genetics. Okay, boys and girls, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to it! Hello, everybody, and welcome to Herd Report. Today, I'm at Husker Harvest Days, and guys, it's a great time here today, and I'm at the Rural Radio Network booth here today, guys. They got all their stuff going on here. You're going to hear a lot of noise in the background, but with me today, I got a very special guest, and I'm really excited about this. I got Tracy McGee of Blue Chip Herefords from Oxford, Nebraska with me. Tracy, thanks for joining us, man.
You bet. Enjoyed being here.
How long have you been? How many years have you came to Husker Harvest Days?
Oh, we probably 18, 20. I mean, we've been here a lot of years, off and on. Not every year, but we've been here a lot of years.
Have you ever done a radio show, a podcast here? Me either. This is my first one here at Husker Harvest Days, too. So that's new for both of us.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. Really appreciate you joining us today. Tell everybody a little bit, we're going to start off with that. Tell everybody a little bit about Blue Chip Herefords. Now, I'm really excited about this today because most of my podcasts are Angus podcasts. That's mostly what I talk about. I've done a couple of Herefords before, but it's always exciting to go back and talk about Herefords because as a kid growing up, that's all we had was Hereford bulls and commercial Angus cows, and I love those black Baldy calves, man. They're awesome. So I have a great appreciation for what Herefords do. I love them. I love talking about them. So I'm really excited about today, Tracy. So tell everybody a little bit about Blue Chip Herefords, and then we'll kind of get into what you guys do and how you do it.
Well, we love the Herefords too, of course, but what we're shooting for is that Baldy calf. That Baldy calf is tops. We can sell the heifers for extra money, and the bull calves gain basically better weight per day of age than the straight blacks and most straight blacks. Putting the white face on, you end up bringing up your feed efficiency.
Yeah.
It's not just Hereford tests. There's tests all over. You bring up your fertility, about 7%.
Yep.
And I know we do a lot of embryoing, and when we shoot up the old cow, if we do it conventional-wise, we put less in the Herefords than we do the blacks that we've taken down there.
Cool.
As far as medicine, and they're just more fertile. All that combined, the Herefords have done three things, in my opinion, have been great. They've changed the bag on them. We've got a good bag. They're full of milk nowadays.
Nice.
They've taken the ribeye and expanded the ribeye, so you got a big, wide cow. In turn, the marbling has come up. And that's
good.
Where they're not trying to be an Angus, but they are chasing because the Angus is high in marbling, and everybody's buying Angus, and they really, they're not the only breed out there. There's other breeds.
I agree.
So a little bit about Blue Chip is we feel we can kind of see what's coming down the road, and there's not that many Hereford breeders around really anymore.
Agreed.
There's getting to be more and more. Back to the association. The association has a lot of really good kids programs for shows and stuff, and we've gotten a lot of younger people back into the Herefords. But on the same token, we've got to be able to get it in the box that people want it. Herefords have a CHB program. They've got quite a few programs that have to do with carcass. We can kind of see all that, but as a breeder, you can't just go all carcass right away.
Agreed.
We've got to have some maternal building, and back to Blue Chip, we sell bulls. We sell quite a few yearling Hereford bulls and a few 2-year-olds. The goodie about that is we've got people wanting those whatever heifers we don't use, they're wanting them. We have about half our cow herd are blacks of some kind, and that's what we use for our recips.
You bet.
And So if we don't get an egg stuck in, we breed them the Hereford bull. We got a black-white face. So
Love that.
Hitting it on both ends, hopefully. So, and that's kind of what when my brother and I started out years ago, we thought we were show people, but there ain't a hell of a lot of money in that show.
I'll say this about showing cattle. Those guys that do it, I got a great appreciation for them. But I can tell you what, I just don't feel like cattle are meant to have a halter on their head.
Well, it's, what, and this is crazy, but we've had some ranchers tell us they just soon not have them halter broke when they get to their place. They want to be normal, and I see both sides. I mean, our kids have been through the junior national and so on, and it teaches the kids a lot, and we'll sell a show heifer if somebody wants it. But we're just trying to kind of work for the commercial end of it, and I think it's working. So.
No, Herefords, their disposition is so awesome. Like, you don't really need to usually put a halter on them. They're usually pretty good at, just from the jump. In my experience with all the Herefords, that's always been one of the big benefits of the Hereford breed.
Yeah, and that's true. And it's the docility will help you in so many ways. I mean, as far as rebreeding, the calmness, you can put more pounds on, and even if you have a knot head and you breed them to a Hereford, that usually levels them out a little bit.
100%, yeah.
But we cull pretty heavy, and it's been a long time since we've knocked one out that's goofy or high-headed.
Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, that reason doesn't happen.
No, not very often, but
I can tell you that's not true in my Angus herd.
Well, and
we get a few of those every once in a while. They got to go to town.
And back to my blacks, I keep an eye on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But back to it, it's not that they're so docile they won't move. It's just that you can take that docility and breed it into something else. And like I say, now we're picking up the marbling, we're picking up the milk. And now you've always got the docility there.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's a big part. So what's at Blue Chip? Let's go back to Blue Chip a little bit. What's the bloodlines you chase there in the Hereford breed? Do you have a specific bloodline that you really like, or do you like a couple, or are you just kind of using a bunch of different ones?
Well, a guy told me one time, we lived there at Oxford, southwest of Holdridge, and he says there's a line, you'll sell horn bulls from here up to Norfolk. It's an angle line.
Yep.
Up the sand hills, they want horns.
Yep.
From here east and southeast, it'll be polls. And I thought, I don't know about that. Well, it pretty well hits
pretty
that
close.
way.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on the line, and I use horn blood and I use polled blood. We've got a flush cow that's polled, homozygous polled, and then we got a good horn cow that goes back to line one, and we mix them back and forth because there's a lot of good in the horn and there's a lot of good in the poll.
Yes, I agree.
And if you can mix them and get a pretty decent animal, that's kind of what we've done. I still kind of run polled lines and horn lines both, but when the guys come in, they either want one or the other.
Yeah.
They don't, they'll say, I don't want no darn horned or I don't want no darn polled. That's just the way it is. And so we try to accommodate them. And this year or the last 3 years, we went a little extra. We were selling black Herefords, and they're black-white face. They're all with the black gene in, so they look like a black-white face, but they've got just a hair more Hereford in them. So you've got, if somebody wants outcross a little bit with just a little bit of Hereford, still have a black bull in the pasture.
Yep.
That has really taken off. We hit them the last couple of years, and we've got more coming this year. So it really has got me excited. I mean, the Hereford breed is just hot right now, and that's some of the reasons why. There's so many things you can do with them. We actually still have, when you go to a Hereford, you can trace that blood clear back to the first one that came across the pond.
That's cool.
And everybody talks about, your kick from a different bloodline and so on, and a lot of the blacks have already got that same bloodline in them, where the Hereford, you got a whole new bloodline, and you should get a bang. And we have people tell us, they went from black or any different bull to the straight Hereford, that they're getting 100 to 110 pounds more at weaning.
That's cool.
And that's all heterosis.
It's all heterosis. It's to quote a good friend of mine, it's the free lunch of the industry. heterosis is the free lunch in the industry. If you're a commercial cattleman, I highly recommend people taking advantage of that. I mean, go get you some heterosis. Your females are going to be fabulous too. The maternal's great in that as well, and then your steers are going to outweigh everything else in town.
Yeah, it's just a no-brainer, and we've had straight Herefords for years, but then when I started crossing, I could see it, and the customers started coming back and telling me and showing me, and we've got a lot of repeat customers, and last few years we've been picking up a lot of customers that are in other breeds.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention, the Herefords, the feet.
Oh, they're spectacular.
We last too many years for most breeders. That's
our
my problem.
Our last Hereford bull that we sold, I think it's been 5 years ago now, since the last Hereford bull we had at our place, he was 10. And everything. I mean, I don't think we ever had a Hereford bull that didn't make it to 8, 9, 10. Some of them got big. That you could have that problem. But as far as feet, I mean, spectacular.
Well, that's what my brother said. That's the worst thing about us selling bulls is it takes too long for the customer to come back.
It does,
that bull
absolutely.
For a long time.
That's exactly correct, Tracy. I agree 100%. Yeah.
But, there is certain things like that people don't even think about. But that longevity in a Hereford, I mean, I'm pounding them up because I'm using their daughters, and I'll end up selling some 5- and 6-year-old bulls to a few guys. But sometimes you got to move them just because of the bloodline.
You got too many daughters.
Good bulls,
Yeah. I like doing that. Yeah. Back to the feet thing. When I got in the Angus breed, coming from the Hereford deal, coming from the commercial deal, Hereford bulls and commercial Angus cows, I didn't even think that was a thing because of all the Herefords that I'd had. And commercial cows, they were crossed enough a little bit. And that's a huge thing in the Angus breed now, and it has been for the last few years. You got to really, we're really trying to improve that. And I came from the Hereford bulls. I was like, what are we talking about?
I know.
What are we doing? How'd that ever get to that point?
The first I was alerted to it was a recip that we had to the vet. She got a curly toe.
Yeah.
I said, what the heck is a curly toe?
Yes.
You don't know? I said, never heard of something like that.
I was shocked too.
But anyway, it's something that, back to the breed, the Herefords are DNA, and you send in your registration to get the proper numbers back, you send in DNA.
Oh, sure.
Okay, on that DNA, if you've got a bad problem like a foot problem or a heart problem or something that's in some of these other breeds that they know, a lethal problem or anything bad, they asterisk it, and nobody wants that on there.
No.
And so what it does is you can still use it, but you're crazy to because nobody's using it.
It's asterisk.
Yeah, and nobody all the way back. And so the Herefords, they made the older breeders mad right at the
guarantee
start
they
because
have.
it killed some of the higher up breeders, and it's like
that had to be tough.
Well, it was, but guess what? In the long run,
it's good for everybody.
Exactly what needs to be done. And so back to that, they've got maybe 2 that they've identified bad in the Hereford breed, and it has something to do with a jaw deal and the hairless deal way back.
Yep.
And they got that all taken care of.
Okay, cool.
So I think where they're testing with this DNA, they're ahead of the game. We've got the last deal they've talked about is a deficiency blind syndrome, and it's the way I understand it, they might get it when they're 3 or 4 or 5. And so that's in about 4 bulls.
Okay.
And they identify it, and they come out, and thank God I didn't use any of those bulls.
Won the lottery again.
Yeah. And so, but they're good bulls, but they got that in them, and that's what we don't want. We want that thing coming out or being perfect because of the other breeds they've seen that's just killing some of them. As far as the bad
100%.
problems. So the DNA is a fabulous deal. I wish I was a lot younger. I would have been using
Don't we all the time?
know?
Yeah, I hear you. So are you pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Are you pretty confident in the DNA then and how it reads? I mean, do you think they've had enough testing in that to really have the predictability down?
At the start, my brother and I both talked about it. It was like, I don't know, numbers, because we still like the pretty ones,
Sure.
We like that phenotype, and you just numbers this, numbers that. Well, I got into some numbers pretty early, and ones that I thought was pretty decent.
Yep.
And it's working. It's working.
Okay,
those
good.
Calves out of those cows that have the big rib eyes, they're fastest gaining. especially this year, we used one that is a Benton son that ended up getting reserve champion out of Denver, called All That.
Yep.
And we ended up with 12 embryos out of an old 10-year-old cow, and I mean, they're snapping. They're good.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're long, and they got the ribeye, and they're fancy.
Okay.
I just, you know, you never know when one's going to hit, but if you look at some of these good breeders that have taken those numbers and bred to their good cows, now we got phenotype in the breed, and we also got the numbers, where 5 years ago you just had some.
Are they going to keep a balance there? Because in the Angus breed, we kind of, the numbers cattle don't really have the, I don't want to say it out loud to everybody, but there's some struggle there with the phenotype and the numbers when they get extreme high. When people start changing extremes, it gets a little scary out there.
It is.
What's your opinion on that in the Herefords?
I agree. You know, we say we breed for balance.
There you go.
And we have
That's
to.
what I wanted to hear.
You just have to.
Love that.
But I've been to so many different sales the last few years, and here's one that's a high numbered, and it'll go for the high money, and this might be not the worst one, but the second to the worst one. You know what I mean? They're
right.
buying numbers.
Yeah, of course.
You
I
can't
know.
do that. You just.
I know they do.
Yeah, and so it's fun sitting there picking them out, because if
Good.
you got an eye for cattle and you got your numbers that now I'm kind of believing in them, they're working.
Good.
And it gives us another tool.
They got to pass my eye test first.
Yep.
And then after that, I'll look at what fits where.
Well, if they can't walk.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have structure.
Exactly.
You have to have structure. You got to have good feet. And then when I was a kid, my grandpa was a big horse guy, and when we would look at horses, colts and stuff, because we bought a lot of baby colts, Grandpa would always say you start at the feet and then you work your way up. If you don't like the feet, it doesn't matter what else you got going up. And I kind of approach cattle the same way today.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yep. And then you look at your structure, and then you can look at all the pretty things after that.
A few years ago, it was probably 15, 12, whatever. We had a big ice storm down there by Holdridge, and electricity, everything went out. And I had one of the old bull guys that bought bulls from us tell me, he says, I'll tell you what, it was so icy, I had to almost crawl my hands and knees to get out to turn the water on for him. And it was that 6-7 inches of ice around. And he says, I had some cows falling down, had them just laying down. He says, guess who the first one was up to the water? Your old Hereford bull. He walked right through that. And I said, well, they're good-footed. He goes, well, he was a little short step, but he said he made it.
He made it.
It does make a difference if you start your feet and go up. But we got to have the meat.
Yep, that's the end product.
We need more protein in the world, and but yet we got to be able to have a frame that's not falling apart.
Agreed.
So
100%. It's a balancing act.
Yep.
We got to keep them right in the balance. That's where we want them. Now, before we let you go, Tracy, tell everybody, when do you start selling bulls? Because you said private treaty, right?
Private treaty.
So when does that start?
Well, we'll sell. We've got 2-year-old bulls, coming 2-year-olds for sale now, but it'll start. I usually run a sale in the fall for people fall calving, and then we will run about 35 bulls in the spring. This year we're going to have a little more than normal, and those will start in February, March, and I'll sell those all the way through probably July. But I start advertising in February and March, and a lot of the guys will come and hit those yearlings and get their picks, and then from there on we have the few 2-year-olds, like I say, be about 35 this year.
Perfect.
And we deliver them all over. We've been selling them a few states around, and we try to take care of them and customer service after the sale. And I kind of told you before, we're this close to getting to a point to have our own bull sale.
That's cool.
And trying to kind of work it out that way, but so far the KRVN's been doing a good job. So.
But those private treaty guys, when they get used to it, they kind of want to come out and pick their bull before everybody else sometimes. And this kind of if you do a sale, it'll kind of level the playing field for everybody a little bit.
They do, and once you start advertising, those guys know they want to come take their pick, and we're yearling bulls up on top of the hill, overlooks the river bottom, and
that's
it's kind
pretty.
of a scenic area.
That's cool. I love that.
They kind of start smiling and say, well, you know what, you got a nice show pen, and back to the bulls, boys. Anyway, we get along pretty good up there, so I
it's really good.
I just think that we're we're getting enough of the bloodline that I need to get it spread around to the registered guys, and we
like
can do
that.
that through the internet.
I like that very much. Well, that's awesome. So how can we get a hold of Blue Chip and you, Tracy? You got a phone number, website, social media? What's the best way to get a hold of Blue Chip and yourself?
Right now, we're just in the middle of finishing up the website.
Perfect.
My number is 308-991-2263. And our other number, my son Jake, is 308-991-3400. But we will have a website, and it'll be going on KRVM pretty quick. So
all right, cool.
we're just a little behind. My wife tells me, she says, you need to spend more money on the website, and you keep buying cows. And I said, cows are more fun.
You got a trip you want to make next week to buy some cows too, I hear, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going out to Churchill's.
Oh, that's
next week,
awesome.
so
That'd be awesome. That'd be a great dispersion.
see some really good cows.
Yeah,
out
Montana's
there.
pretty too, so yeah, very. Well,
Hopefully we'll get a flush cow that we can bring some eggs back and
That's
start
right.
selling around here.
That's
so.
perfect, isn't it? Yeah, that'll be awesome. Well, good luck out there, man. Thanks for joining us today, Tracy.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet.
And thanks to everybody who listens to Herd Report. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.